You want to hear a true story? When I was a little boy, I wanted to be a little girl. Or at least that was my understanding at the time. I hesitate to say I was in touch with my feminine side, but because, as we know, women have cornered the market in all the positive virtues, let's label it feminine for convenience. I didn't like rough play, didn't like football, I wasn't interested in guns. I gravitated towards dolls. I had loads. I can still remember them all by name. Those dollies were my friends. Just as well I wouldn't have had any friends otherwise. Cruel kids seek out tender hearts, like heat-seeking missiles. Usually primed by their parents, but I'm not going to give those chuffs all the credit. As I was saying, I was this sad kid with no life-size friends. Until this girl moved into our neighbourhood. Danny, she was called. She was new on the estate, so didn't have any friends either, and hadn't been poisoned by my reputation because nobody would talk to her, except me. I befriended her. We had a lovely couple of weeks playing together. I'd take my dolls round to her house and let them play with hers. We had fun. We laughed a lot, as I recall. Then one day, I called round and her mother told me she couldn't come out to play. She wasn't well. Same story the next day, and the next. On the 4th, I saw her outside her house, but she ran indoors before I could reach her. Her mother stood in the porch holding the fort. I asked her, "What have I done? Why doesn't she want to play with me anymore?" Her mother replied, "Because if she plays with you, none of the other kids will play with her." Best part of 30 years ago. Attitudes are meant to change with time. I'm not convinced. And I know her mother was only looking after her own, but I can't help but grieve for that little lad taking that slap in the face through no fault of his own. I remember my face burning with shame. It should have been hers that was burning. Back to the boy-girl thing. Puberty hit. Must have been all of 13 when I properly realised I fancied other boys. So that explained it. I really was gay, just as I'd been told with great relish over and over again for years by the kids who enjoyed sticking in the knife and twisting it. I put the boy-girl dichotomy to the back of my mind. I didn't want to be a girl. I just wanted the love of a good man. We all know miracles don't happen. At least I don't believe in them anymore. So now I was in the closet, struggling with my sexuality for years, waiting until my 18th birthday for fear of getting arrested, publicly humiliated and ostracised for my perversion. Along the way I met Astrid, a vision of loveliness who came out of the European left field, and I was smitten. I loved her. I loved her absolutely. Everything worked, if you catch my drift. I did love her. I loved her so much. She left me. I wouldn't have left her. No woman ever came along to replace her. Zo is het leven, as they say in Dutch. Such is life, translates in any other language, sadly. During the coming out process, while I was trying to work through my confusion, I'd tell gay counsellors about her. The usual response was a raised eyebrow and something along the lines of, "Yes, I always used to have a girlfriend, was engaged, married, but I always knew I was gay." I think upon reflection, yes, because that was your experience. My experience is my experience, and yours will not change or challenge mine. I take it as a sign that I've grown up, evolved, become my own man, if you'll pardon the pun. I embraced my masculinity. I've never looked back. I'm comfortable being a man. I accept myself for who I am. Not all the time, but most days. Not feminine, just fully human. People want to see sexuality in black and white. Experience has told me it's just shades on a spectrum. And no, not all boys who play with dolls are gay, but if some are, big deal. But looking back, I do wonder if that little boy could have taken a magic pill and transformed into a girl, would he? And the answer is probably yes. Ask me now and I'd say no. That would be my decision. Not everyone's decision, but my experience, and my choices are no less valid than anybody else's. I'm me. I'm Declan. It's my story. And maybe that's the point. If we just accepted difference, there would be far fewer wounded people in this world. Suicide is the biggest single killer of men under 45. Men of all shapes, sizes and sexualities. 84 a week, they reckon, in the UK alone. Men who lived and died in emotional isolation because society tells them you're not a real man if you show you're weak and vulnerable. And I'm not about to be another casualty. No chance. True story.